Hi, my name is Brittany Evans, and I look forward to hearing your discussions this semester in class. I am currently a first grade teacher at Northern York County School District, and I teach within the Northern Elementary School. I am currently on the Science Curriculum Committee. I also coach for a program called Girls on the Run, and it's a program that empowers girls and teaches them to be positive about their self image and how they view others around them. And this focuses on girls specifically third grade through fifth grade. And we just finished our program and we ran in a 5K called Race Against Racism in York 2 weekends ago. I am currently a graduate student at Millersville University. I am looking to get my Master's of Education in Assessment, Curriculum, and Teaching with a STEM concentration. The picture on the top is of me and my students this year at one of our picnic lunches. My students who finish their reading calendars get to eat lunch with me outside. And the bottom photo is a picture of my coworker and I dressed up for Halloween. The picture on the left, you will see my husband, Joshua. He serves in the United States Air Force. He is my number one supporter, and he pushes me to be the better me. My sister is pictured with me in the center. Her name is Brianna. She's my best friend, and she just graduated from Slippery Rock University, so I'm really proud of her. And the picture on the right is Grayson, that's my nephew, and we call him Little G, and he just brings so much joy to our family. I enjoy fishing and kayaking, so if it's a sunny weekend, you'll find me out by the lake or the creeks or rivers around here. I go out with my husband and my family as well. I'm big in the health and fitness area. I love to cook healthy meals for my husband, and I really enjoy running, swimming, and lifting. Currently, I'm doing a lot of DIY projects because we just recently moved into our house, and so I'm trying to make it feel more like home, and I also enjoy drawing. For online experiences, I only have a limited knowledge. I have two different viewpoints. My husband took hack online courses, and then I took one online course for Millersville this past spring semester, and our two experiences were vastly different. I would talk about my classmates with using their first names and saying, oh, this is what they thought about this, or listen to the article they found with that. And my husband would say, wait, are these your coworkers or your classmates? And I would say, my classmates. And he's like, how do you know their name? How do you know all this about them? And so I showed him the discussion boards, and I showed him the posts that we have, and we compared it to his experience, and he did not have any communication with his classmates. He only had communication with the professor. So any of the assignments, he would complete them and then just turn them in directly for the professor to look at. So the class never bounced ideas off each other. So it was almost more like a one-on-one, I don't want to say tutoring, but a one-on-one session versus a group discussion. And I really felt like I gained a lot from my classmates. So I don't think I would have gathered as much from the class if I wouldn't have had that experience with discussing and getting to know them. One of the elements, good teaching is good teaching. I strongly believe that good teaching can exist in both brick and mortar schools as well as online schools, and then even in a blended approach. But I don't think the two can be considered one and the same. Good teaching in a brick and mortar environment will sound, look, and feel different from good teaching within an online environment, and vice versa. Just as good teaching looks different from one teacher to another, or even more specifically, one class to another. I do believe, however, the goal to create lifelong learners and contributing society members may be the same. The tools and the strategies to get there can and will look different for each environment, teacher, and even the class. This is one of the reasons why I think flexibility and rapport with students are integral aspects of good teaching. So, two of the items that I noted from the article that was entitled Identifying and Addressing Teaching Challenges were both in the student issues section. It was the student success versus student failure and the idea of building rapport with students. From that, I generated two different questions that I really feel strongly about. Is there a particular quality or trait a student must possess in order to be successful within an online environment? So does one student have potential to succeed more than another depending on their personality traits, maybe being self-motivated more than another student or having more grit and perseverance, or maybe more self-accountability? Do those factor in when teaching online programs? The second question was, what are strategies online instructors use to get to know their students personally? I know I am constantly using what I observe and what I'm communicating with my students to go and embed that in my instructions and even the tools I use. So what are the strategies that online instructors can use to constantly get involved personally with their students, not just an icebreaker activity in the beginning, but throughout the entire class? Palmer's quote, "To reduce our vulnerability, we disconnect from students, from subjects, and even ourselves. We build a wall between inner truth and outer performance, and we play act the teacher's part." I know this is talking about making sure you're being true to yourself and being honest to your values and making sure that you're really giving yourself to your students. I know that's where she was going with this, but I think it can connect with the invisible wall that online teaching kind of creates. It's the screen versus the face to face. I'm not saying that the screen makes people automatically be dishonest or distort the truth, but I think it does have the potential to hide the true self because you can't see the person, you can't see their body language, you can't see how they're reacting to something. So I think we have to be really aware as educators if we're using an online model that we are being honest and we are being true in everything we do. And that goes into the whole integrity and making sure that we are being holding ourselves to high levels of integrity, even if we are on the online world. It made me think of an article that I read previously, and I actually went back and looked for it again because I tend to believe that people would lie more online because they aren't seeing the people that they're talking to directly. And I found some really interesting quotes that I wanted to share with you. Technology isn't the gateway to rampant deception. Instead, Thoma and Hancock, they specialize in technology online deception, both suspect that our distrust of communication technology is more likely rooted in our fear of it. We've evolved as a species that talks face to face, and evolution is a slow process, and we're interacting in a new environment where our basic assumptions are undercut. I think this just shows maybe what I'm personally dealing with myself as this is something new to me. So I want to make sure that teachers are being held to the highest accountability when it comes to integrity and teaching online. When looking at the standards compared to the commercials, I felt like differentiation, student choice and voice, team created programs, and relationships were emphasized and really fit the standards. I listed the standards that I felt could potentially be covered by each of those items. However, you would really need to go in and evaluate each of the programs to see if they are truly connecting with those standards. The one standard that I felt that was not addressed or not openly addressed was Standard E, the one that is about legal, ethical, and safe behavior. And that kind of speaks to my own questioning of integrity on the online world. Do viewers assume ethical teaching practices are followed when positive student outcomes occur? Or are ethical items lower on the educational go-to jargon when you're trying to get people to attend a school? So those are kind of the questions that brought up for me. The other items that I felt were emphasized but didn't exactly fit the standards were the ability to get ahead. While the standards covering the student standards, they do not mention the rate at which the student standards will be covered or how fast the student needs to progress through them. High academic results were also mentioned. And while the standards are in place to ensure program quality, they are not based on specific results. They are used to ensure assessments are implemented, data is gathered, and then used to further modify and or guide the instruction. So we all want to have each of our students have high academic results, but we know different students are going to achieve those results at different levels. Another aspect that stuck out to me was enjoyment and fun. I am a firm believer that students should enjoy school and have fun in school, but that was not specifically mentioned in the standards. Thank you so much for viewing my presentation, and I look forward to hearing your feedback.